The Mont downhill track is one of the great tests of the sport. It is 2.9 kilometers long, has a vertical drop of 585 meters, and with speeds reaching 75 kilometers per hour, it is one of the fastest of all World Cup tracks. In comparison to the other 6 legs, the track factors show that Mont course has a lot of corners and ranks roughly in the middle for technical sections. After the famous drop-in next to the gondola, riders come to Autoroute pour l'Enfer. Technical corners with little jumps to get into the race rhythm. After the fastest section, La Tarzane awaits. A newly built, steep and technical assault through the forest. Steve Smith drop. A 6-meter drop leading into a chicane. Carrying enough speed on the exit for the following flatter part is essential. Shimano Ledal, a forest paved with traction-free rocks. When it's wet, this part can get really slippery. Mercedes-Benz Pont des Irlandais. To manage this 1-meter step-up jump, the right line choice, speed and precision are key. This track is one of the biggest tests of the year for the riders.
Well, not only a real test for the riders, also a very real test for the equipment. It is a track, I feel, that has everything in it. I mean, where do they make the time, the riders here?
Honestly, it's from top to bottom, because you can't really say where it's won or lost. We have those super fast, high-speed sections.
Isn't that the fastest straight on any World Cup track? It's got to be, right?
It definitely is, and then it goes straight into a super technical section, and then back out into the open with high speed again. So you have to switch back and forth from high speed to technical, and then towards the end of the track, it's definitely also physical fitness that plays a role. So really, we can't say where it's won or lost. It's on the entire track.
I mean, we both remember racing here. It is brutal on your body. By the time you get halfway down, you're absolutely exhausted.
It's brutal on your bike as well, so mechanics are just as busy as riders here.
They really are. Okay, well, this is what happened in yesterday's qualifying.
And qualifying in third, it's Amaury Pierron. I think he's going to step it up today, though.
Look how fast he's going down that straight. That is one for the brave. That is down there. Loic Bruni took second place in qualifying. I think he's a little annoyed that the other French riders are stealing the limelight. I think we're going to get a big performance from him today.
Oh, he's ready, I think. And then qualifying first, Danny Hart. You know, he hasn't won this year yet, and he definitely wants that win because, you know, second and third places for him don't count anymore.
He's going to be a bit fired up after losing the national championships to his teammate, I reckon. So that is qualifying for you. Look at that, just 0.7 of a second separating the top 3. That's unbelievable on this track, isn't it?
On a 4-minute 20 long course. So yes, you know, these guys are fighting for the overall now. And not only that, they also want this win in Mont Sainte Anne.
Yeah, they do. Who is going to win?
Again.
You set yourself up for that one.
I put it on Luca.
You put it on Luca. All right. Well, I'm going to go. I'm going to join in this one. I'm going to go for Loic Bruni. I think the man's on a mission. To find out if either of us are right, we might not be. Stay with us then. The penultimate World Cup, Mercedes-Benz UCI Downhill World Cup of 2018 is about to get rolling. We'll be right back with the commentary in English and German. See you after this.
Okay, dropping in 5.
Three friends on a journey into the unknown.
Going from here up to northern BC, we're gonna follow the Fraser River up and hit a few spots.
Follow the Fraser. Now available on Red Bull TV.
Mont is located in the south of the Canadian province of Quebec, which is almost 2.5 times the size of France. French is the official language, making it the only province in Canada to not have English as their only official language. Mountain bike racers have come here for more than a quarter of a century, making it the oldest and the most prestigious venue on the tour. So it is absolutely stunning. Beautiful day, no sign of rain. It won't be coming in this afternoon, I'm going to guarantee it right now. And this is Nico Mullally, the American champion, USA champion, coming down, currently in 4th place. Plenty of power left in them legs at the bottom. Greg Williamson. Good run for that man. He's currently in 2nd place. And this is David Trummer, down in 14th after his run here this afternoon. And this is the fastest run of the day so far. Angel Suarez for the YT mob, flying the flag in the absence of Aaron Gwynn. Green all the way down from the top to the bottom. Suarez having a good ride at the last round actually as well. So the man on form, the young Spanish rider. And that time of 4:19.4, faster than Danny Hart's qualifier yesterday. That's how much quicker this track has got this afternoon. And that has actually just made me a little bit more excited about what we're going to see this afternoon.
It's
already.
even better.
At the moment, there's your top 10 then. Baptiste Piedon in there in 9th place, the older brother of Amaury, the man going for the title this afternoon. Although Amaury has had a bit of a fall, actually, in practice this morning. Current leader then, 4:19.4 is the time to beat.
And yes, surprisingly, the track did get a little faster, or maybe even a lot faster today compared to yesterday.
Start list. These are the 25 finalists we're going to be showing you this afternoon. G. Atherton, his 100th World Cup start today. Marcelo Gutierrez, he'll like it fast like this. Mark Wallace, big day for the Canadian. Moya, still returning from injury, as is the man next to him, Greg Minnaar. Finn Isles, a great qualifier, actually ruined by a flat tyre for that young man. Piedon, Bruni and Danny Hart are the last 3 to go. Lucas Shaw and Brooke McDonald just off before them. That stacks up quite nicely.
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty excited about this afternoon, I don't mind admitting it. It's going to be, I think we're in for something really special. We might be something in for really special right now. Thomas Stack on track then.
The man that spent so much time on the hot seat in Val di Sole, 2 races back. Let's see if he will sit on it again today.
Stack. Oh! Well, we knew it'd be pretty wild. Hits that right hard as well. So you can see that wet patch there. It was so wet here earlier in the week. Massive storms, lightning storms. The lift was shut. Torrential downpours, and the track was soft when these riders were practicing on it. Now it's gone rock hard. All those lumps and bumps are solid. All those ruts and berms. And without a doubt, Mont is as rough and as hard as it has ever been.
And here we are in Les Dalles, one of the most technical sections of the whole track. He's already through them though.
3.4 back though on that time of Angel Suarez at the moment. Another one of these new generation of French riders that are starting to dominate. Actually, speaking to Ami Piron in the week, I said about Thomas Stack, he mentioned him, I said, can he win a World Cup? He said, absolutely, this man has got the pace. Not today, he hasn't, no. 3.2 back now. The last split on track. And you can see how that gap's opened up. It's 0.8 at split 1. Crashed in Andorra, this man, at the last round. After that crazy line. Look at a scrub off there. So time for a top 3 is a 4:22. He goes outside it. The Stack goes 6th.
4 centièmes de seconde, 4,23,123 pour Thomas Stack.
Jack Reddin. From the UK, privateer, a man who does it all on his own. Actually, I got chatting to him last night. Just said it's been head games this year that have been keeping him outside the top 25.
And attacking quite hard out of the gate already there. Going deep off that Steve Smith drop there. That's a sketchy one. He probably tried to jump that hole that's at the bottom of Steve Smith drop. That cut out some chain guides in qualifier.
Nearly 6 seconds back for this man. Yeah, are we going to see a lot of mechanicals this afternoon? Oh my word, look at how hard Reddin's pushing.
He's definitely pushing. Is he on flat pedals, right?
Couldn't tell you actually.
It looks like it.
From Manchester in the UK. 29 years old now. But he said, you know, there's a lot to do when you run a team. But he'll be glad of that qualifying run he had yesterday, even if his finals run isn't working out as he would have liked.
He's definitely working hard, but on a track like this that's so rocky and so rough and so long, it might be better to, you know, let your bike work more and stay a bit calmer on your bike, because this is gonna take a lot of energy if you do that for 5 minutes.
This man has been inside the top 20 here in Mont before. 19th here back in 2016. He's not going to get near that time of Angel Suarez, that's for sure today. Reddin crosses the line. 18th place for the Englishman.
Guess I was wrong with the flat pedals.
Yeah, in fact, there's barely any riders left on him. This is one of them, Brendan Fairclough. Riding for the man set next to me, and Claudio, nice to see him having such a good qualifier, 13th.
Yes, he always loved this track here just as much as I do. And he's always had his best results here. So let's hope it's another one today.
Fast off the Smith drop there. Looked like he got inside. Perhaps on a bit of a steeper landing. Great through that rut as well. So, 4.8 back though on Suarez's time already. We spoke about the Boss suspension, Claudio. You said, you know, you thought here it might be an advantage. Am I right in thinking the fork has basically an inch over any other fork in travel?
Yes, and I'm actually quite sure that this fork on this track is quite an advantage. I've been riding it a bit, and it's incredible.
Got a 7th here in 2013, Brendan. That's his best result. No low line this year. I don't know, I said they taped it a little bit differently. Claudio says not, but no one bothering to go down low on that rock. Everyone across the top of it.
Yes, I don't think that anybody would bother going down there anymore, because the main line sets you up perfectly to stay high there. So there's no reason to go further down.
Maybe 5 seconds back at split number 3. Let's see if he's pulled any time back. About the same. Matches Suarez then through that big long Ladal wooded rock section. Must be carrying good speed down the bottom here though.
That actually looked super fast through those woods, but 4.8 seconds, that's simply not feasible.
No, here he comes down the line. Fairclough goes in at 14th, 5.8 seconds back. 22 riders left here in Mont. Well, keep an eye on this young man, Matt Walker from the UK, the newly crowned national champion, who beat his teammate Danny Hart, the fastest qualifier here, Danny Hart, fair and square, you'd have to say, at that national championships a couple of weeks ago, and by a fair margin on such a short track. A phenomenal run, according to everyone I've spoke to.
You can see there's still some deep mud holes up there that the riders are actually choosing to go around, because probably they just slow you down too much before you go onto that high-speed section.
First-year elite rider, the junior world champion from last year. So, of course, we do expect to see him perform well. Here they come into the Ladal section. And that will be Baptiste Pierre on time. Of course, Amory still at the top, the older brother of the man going for the title. What's Walker going to do through here? Looks good. on the Saracen bike. Well, 11th for him, less than a second back though, so.
But it did look super fast there, absolutely smooth, but still almost a second slower than Piro.
Maybe smooth's not the way. Well, Claudio, you know, the gaps on this time, it's long, it's rough, it's technical, it's everything. I mean, you can expect to see the times a little. Takes the inside into that berm there, into that jump there, excuse me, misses the berm. But yeah, you can expect these gaps to be a bit bigger today, right? I mean, it's a different track to what Leogang is, that's for sure.
That's for sure, but the level is so crazy high that we've seen very, very tight margins.
Oh, he goes second, just 1.5 back. So a great lower section for him. I reckon that inside in that last jump took some time out for him. Charlie Harrison from the USA now.
Talking about that inside, we actually saw that Danny Hart lost some time in the past taking that inside and then changed it up for the final.
In the wet though, that's the difference, I guess. But interesting how different lines work in the different weathers. Wow. Full commitment here then from Charlie Harrison, wow. And he's just a second back on Suarez from YT.
That is wild, and 1 second is definitely feasible if he rides like that all the way down. It is wild, but no mistakes so far.
Just 20 years old, this man.
And what you can see here in Les Dalles, in that gnarly rock section is, you can't see it on TV, but those rocks are actually sticking out so much and they face against you with pointy edges. It's really not the comfort zone.
There are some massive holes in there. And Harrison looking to be carrying great speed into this lower wood as well. A few different line choices in this bottom wood. He goes around that drop there. It's not as steep as that rock drop, so you won't have a flat landing or a flatter landing. You should carry a little bit more speed out. That said, it's a little bit further round. 1.3 up there.
There we go.
Well, he's delivered. Absolutely hauling. He did look to carry amazing speed out of that Les Dalles wood.
Have you seen that there's a rut on the inside? That's why some of them choose to take the inside, to take that rut that holds you almost as much as the berm.
Well, here he comes then down towards the line. Harrison, is he going to go fastest? Yes, he is. 1.6 up. Well, what a run for that is. And I think, you know, he's going to keep up his record of not finishing outside the top 20 at any race this year so far. So an incredibly consistent season for him.
And we see here, on this track, it's not only the rider, it's also the bike, which means the mechanics that have to work perfectly.
G. Atherton then, his 100th World Cup start today. And of those 100 World Cup starts, half of them, 50%, have ended in a World Cup podium. Great to see him back on form here as well with a great qualifier. He actually broke his wrist in Val di Sole. Don't think he discovered until after Valnord. Pretty tough. But yeah, incredible. Never won here, G. Atherton. 3 times on the podium, but second here back in 2013. And he's up by nearly half a second then into the green for Atherton.
Wow.
Lost a little bit of time. Half a second between splits 1 and 2, but the advantage is still his.
Funny enough, you saw him sitting down on that platform up at the start, not pedaling as hard as others, but he was
big on there. That's what happens if you go too big on there. You're going to flat land, and it's going to be a disaster, I would think. Much more than G just did then.
That is a place where you cannot go too fast, or you're taking too big of risks. Now going into the Steve Smith drop here.
Flies over the top of there as well. This is a committed run from Atherton. 2 times a world champion. You can see why when he's riding like this.
Whoa, straight through the mud puddle there. Oh, losing a bit.
200s now. Hard to believe, really. Perhaps landing deep off that big drop. He didn't carry as much speed out.
And Harrison had an extremely committed run down here as well. So if G wants to go just as fast as Harrison, he needs to keep it open.
Harrison, the fastest so far through the Les Dalles.
And G has to do it just like his sister, who did the full commitment and just was almost out of control all the way down, and so has. Oh, where did my English go?
It's all right. So, G now the fastest through Lisdal by 0.2 of a second, so he should extend that lead at split 4. About to find out. 0.145 up now then. So G Atherton absolutely flying.
Taking the outside there, different. Now let's see if that pays out or if he loses time there. He has not much time to lose, otherwise he's not going to be the fastest down here.
Here he comes there, Atherton comes down towards the line. It's going to be tight.
Oh,
it's going to be super tight. Oh, he goes second over a second back.
Wow. Well, in
line
that
choice,
last
Claudio?
turn, he could be line choice, but he also did not carry that much speed through the last rock garden and actually had to pull up quite hard to clear those jumps at the end. So you could already see that it was going to be slower, but not that much. And here you see the lead change. He was in the lead all the top, then lost it for a while, got it back in zone 8, but in 9 and 10 is where he lost it again.
And we've seen, believe it or not, after the horrendousness of this track top to bottom, we've seen it be won or lost past split 4, you know, on a relatively, oh, that was deep, after a relatively, you know, easy part of the track that seems to, it's the sting in the tail. It's all about carrying speed, I think, right out of that last wood.
Exactly.
So Harrison leads. Diathen goes into second place. It's Angel Suarez in third. Walker fourth at the moment. The British Matt Walker, not the one from NZ. And Greg Williamson there in fifth. 19 riders to go. If you just joined us, we are live from Mont in Canada, one of the biggest World Cup races of the year, and certainly one of the most fierce tracks on the World Cup calendar. So Laurie Greenland is not starting, actually. He rolled his ankle yesterday, so that's a real shame. But we've got Anne-Marie Piron for you, who's at the top with Anna Buick.
Okay, Anne-Marie, you're looking like you're moving a little slowly today. You had a crash in practice this morning. What happened?
Yeah, I just missed my line in the last practice run, so I get back up to retry this. It was not an hard line, just to be super smooth, and I was not really focused on a rock, and I just slipped on it and had a really bad crash, but everything okay. I'm happy so I can race, so I'm really happy about it. We did a good job with the physio of the team, and we'll see what's the race bring.
And how much do you think it will affect your race today and potentially the overall as well?
Yeah, sure. When I crashed, I was like, oh, no, the overall, but it was okay, nothing broke. I can ride. I don't know how fast I'm gonna ride, but I'm gonna give my best, and we will see.
Thanks very much and good luck.
Thank you.
I'll tell you what, Claudio, after seeing that, I'm amazed he started a race run this afternoon. That was a nasty looking crash. Thank goodness he got up from it. So there's your top 10 at the moment. Gaetan Vige there, the French champion, newly crowned in 8th place. Right behind Nico Melali, Phil Atwill, 6th place for him at the moment. Well, what a crash Piron had. What can he do this afternoon? I'll be amazed if he can get a one at first or second and wrap up that overall crown after that.
Yeah, that's definitely going to slow him down right there.
Has to. Conor Fearon from Australia now. A bad qualifier for him, some problems in it. Put it all behind him for this, the finals run then.
And you see there's different strategies up there. Some of the riders attack hard on that first platform, pedaling as hard as they can, and some just sit down, and that just shows you a bit of experience. The experienced riders will not go that hard up top because they know the race is won on the entire track and not just up at the start.
Well, Fearon is green at the moment. Look at that, nearly half a second up as well. So Fearon putting one together now. Delicate on the brakes around those turns on that loose stony surface. Not much in it between him and Harrison on the virtual straight. And Harrison coming back to him as they exit the woods.
Now coming into the Steve Smith drop. And this is where you really have to judge your speed. You don't want to go into it too fast. He doesn't seem to mind there.
Look at the fans here. So many people come out in Mont to watch this race today. Fearon fully committed through the ruts in the rocks. But he's lost time. He's nearly a second back. That's unbelievable. Where did he lose that time?
Well, he definitely couldn't see it.
Interesting.
But as well as he lost it, he might as well win it back in Les Dalles here, coming up.
We're go into the Les Dalles then. I mean, looking at that virtual straight, it was certainly Harrison that was quicker coming out of that wood. I guess he didn't carry the speed out of there. It's cost him some serious time and sent him into the red then, Conor Fearon. What can he do through Les Dalles? One of the critical sections you've got to nail if you want to win this thing.
And that was pretty much as straight as you can go through that one.
Nearly a second back there then.
But in the Les Dalles, he only lost 0.2 towards Atherton, who was fastest.
And he looked to be good through there as well. The next split will tell us where he's at. And he's lost a lot more time. 2.7 back now then for the Australian. 15th his best result here. Actually spends a fair bit of time in this part of the world with his team manager, Matt DePaul, over there in Bromont. Another World Cup venue. I remember racing there. Did you race there?
Yes, I did. Did you?
I did, yeah. Fearon across the line in 5th. 17 riders left to go then here in Mont Sainte.
Zone analysis, you see where... Oh, I just lost my screen. You see where Charlie Harrison lost... Oh, it's gone again. Sorry for that.
Excuse me, we had a little technical problem. The picture disappeared in here. Okay, back to the top for Sam Blenkinsop. A bit of a beaten up Sam Blenkinsop after a big crash earlier in the week. Put a few holes in his body. Can he turn it around for this finals run?
Into the fastest section that the World Cup probably ever has seen. This is so scary. It's just straight down the mountain and you try to stay off the brakes as long as you can.
65 kilometers an hour. Hard on the anchors.
This fast section up there is actually where, when I was riding for John Tomac in the past, we marked the point on the side of the track to where we're gonna hit the brakes.
Did you really?
Yes.
Braking zones. 3.3 back then. So Blenky clearly, I would say, hurting a little bit. On the podium. In the shin at the start of the year. Another man liking the bigger wheel bike. Those 29-inch wheels suit him. The internet. A few pictures of what Aaron Gwynn may come back on. It looks to be a 29-inch wheel Suez. I wonder if that's what he'll make his return on, either in Le Bresse or at the World Championships.
Well, then I'm wondering if that's why he takes a little more time off the World Cup to just test that bike and get used to it.
4.8 back now. Through Les Dalles, that a part of the track that's definitely been here since 94, 95. One of the oldest parts of the track, and still as amazing as it ever was.
Into that last forest, just this one more, and then it's just a bit of pedaling. One more rock garden, and a few jumps.
5 times in the top 10 here, Sam Blenkinsop.
Have you seen that? He was shaking his hands.
Probably needs to after that. 7.5 back for him now. I mean, me and you, Claudia, I remember getting off my bike in the finish area on flat pedals, probably in a pair of Vans, but my feet would hurt so bad. I'd have to hop around in the finish area for 5 minutes just to get over it, such as you really take a real pounding down here. So Blenkinsop crosses the line some way back. Okay, let's go to the top. Finals is with Anna.
Must be really excited to get on track today. Mickey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to be able to race in front of Canadian fans and be on home soil. Even though it's a 5-hour flight from where I live, it's still pretty amazing to be here and, you know, have Canadian fans representing for the Canadian fans, sorry.
And you had a great qualification yesterday with a rear flat tyre. Is there more in the tank? Can you go faster today?
Yeah, yesterday qualies was really good. I felt really smooth and just clean the entire way down. And near the bottom, I had a flat tire, and I kind of made a mistake on the last jump and like pulled up to the lip and hopped off the side because I was like, ooh, I'm not going to clear it. And I feel like there's more in the tank, but we'll see when I get on track. I feel pretty good right now and pretty excited. Just you know, getting warmed up and ready to go.
Oh, we hope these home fans give you an amazing experience. Good luck.
Thank you.
So finals will be coming up shortly. Right now, it's Frenchman Alexandre Fayol, 52nd in qualifying.
And Finals doesn't really seem stressed up there for being such a young rider.
So Fayol, with that poor qualifier, he is a protected rider. That's why you see him go off in the final. The top 10 from this year's World Cup and the top 10 from last year's overall World Cup are protected. And no matter what they do, as long as they start that qualifier, they do go inside the top 20 for finals. Deep off to Stevie Smith drop. Nice smooth line around the outside on those rocks though, Claudio.
Most of the riders have changed their lines this year through that rock garden, go a lot wider.
Well, some big problems then for Fayoli. 25 seconds back at split 3. So I'd imagine he's been off somewhere that we haven't seen.
So maybe it's time to explain a little more about the points that we've been talking about in the pre-show. So a win usually gets you 200 points, which means there's also points in qualifier, which is 50 points. But for the last race in La Bresse, there's going to be no points for qualifier and everything for the final. So 250 points will be won at the final in La Bresse. But taking that all together today and La Bresse together is going to be 450 points to be won.
That's right, because we've had the qualifier here, so those 50 points have gone. 200 on offer today's final. I think it'll make for a more exciting final. Early fourth then. Split 4, 27.8 back. Bit of dirt on that left knee, so he has hit the ground somewhere. Did win the opening World Cup of 2017, this man in France, in Lourdes. That'll be a day he won't forget. Today is a day he would definitely like to forget. Marcelo Gutierrez then from Colombia. Got on the podium here actually back in 2015. Took the last spot of the podium. We have a 5-person podium in World Cup racing.
And he definitely has the fitness and the experience to do well on a track like this. It's funny enough that and to the first split, the fastest times were ridden by those people who sat down on the platform and who were not pedaling. So it means who were not attacking too hard at the start.
It's so long, you've got to save some time. There's Harrison again on that virtual straight, showing just how quick he was coming out of there. Gutierrez now starting to pull him back a little bit.
Interesting line right there, going up high with the staying very smooth actually. All the other bikes have been bouncing around there.
Starting to remind me of Heckler's Rock over in Whistler, the big Stevie Smith drop. Definitely a fitting tribute to the great man that we lost so sadly a few years ago. 2.2 back now. For Gutierrez, one ride inside the top 10 this year. 8 in Fort William for him. Here he comes then into Ladal. Atherton the fastest, just over 23 seconds through here for him.
And there's really not that much difference you can do in here this year because everybody's actually taking the exact same line, so that one must just be so much better than any other line.
Gutierrez looks super smooth through there. But he goes 5th, nearly half a second back. Another rider opting not to take that steeper rock face you can see there. So he was 2.2 back at split number 3. And loses another second to Charlie Harrison. So Harrison leads Giatherton Suarez, Alonso Suarez there in 3rd. Angel Suarez, excuse me, in 3rd. Matt Walker 4th, Conor Fearon 5th at the moment. But the fastest qualifying time has fallen. Danny Hart, that 4:20.9, long gone. We're going to see a fast final. We've still got 14 riders left at the top. Reece Wilson, 32nd in qualifying, a man who, well, he would definitely throw caution to the wind, this young chap. This could be a wild one as well.
All right, look, no pedaling so far. I expect him to be fast up there.
Had that incredible ride in Fort William, where he took 4th place this year. So a man who likes it fast and rough. You'd think Mont will be much to his liking, over 65 kilometers an hour through the speed trap, but he is in the red on the clock.
But look, split 1 right up there,
yeah,
he was faster. So it's quite interesting too. Whoever does not pedal up there is actually faster than those guys who sprint as hard as they can.
Definitely such a long track, Claudio. I think fitness, you know, well, not just fitness, and look at that, Reece overtaking Harrison through the virtual straight. It swaps back as they exit it.
Now that is really a cool lineup. They're going into the Steve Smith drop when they jump onto the grass to avoid that rock. They stay really smooth doing that. We've only seen 2 riders doing that so far.
All the 2s back now then. Just over 2 seconds for Reece Wilson to find between here and the bottom.
Choosing quite a few different lines here. Going out into the grass at some spots.
A man who rides a Honda CR 500 2-stroke for training. So arm pump shouldn't be a problem down here if you can hold on to one of them things. Actually told me that Bernard Kerr's bought one and wants to race him. I'd like to be there for that. Whoa.
Let's go join them then.
Well, good few hard pedal strokes there to get that thing back up to speed as he comes out of the woods. The 7th in Val di Sole. A breakthrough season really for this youngster.
Choosing that right line, rider's right actually, not going off the big drop, which would be the straight line, but I think you just can carry more speed going to the right of that tree.
3.4 back now for him. And on that inside line, does look quicker, doesn't it, Claudio, now that there's a little rut there or a berm there to hold the riders.
It does look quicker. It wasn't in the past, but it definitely is now, and he's styling it up here for us.
Scrubs the last jump. Goes across the line in 7th. So won't be a disaster for him. He might just about scrape into the top 20. In fact, he will. He might actually, excuse me. 13 left to go. That cost him some time, you know.
Probably did. Just losing some speed, some momentum right there. And, you know, you go out to a flat section after that where you actually need that momentum.
From Australia, Dean Lucas now. On the intense factory racing team. Can he beat his teammate Charlie Harrison, the man in the hot seat at the bottom? Massive crash for this man in Fort William earlier in the year on one of the fastest parts of the track. Doesn't look like it slowed him down much coming down here. Look at this. Nearly 63 kilometers an hour and he's fastest by a second. He was 1.3 up at split number 1.
Hard on the brakes there. His bike went sideways. Now he's going into that new technical section. Let's hope he doesn't overcook it on that vertical drop coming up right now.
So only 3.5 seconds separating the top 5 at the moment. That's tight on this long track. We know Harrison was fast on this part of the track.
All right, he's choosing to go through the deep holes, not taking that grassy high line. But there he goes on a different one from the Steve Smith drop. Very tight on the inside. We haven't seen that yet.
No, and that is a brave line. Saves himself for some meters. Hasn't saved himself any time, though.
Yes, I actually think he did not carry good speed from the Steve Smith drop, taking that inside. It might be shorter, but it definitely doesn't carry momentum.
And that might add up all the way down that straight. It seems to have done. Lucas now in the red.
Ooh, wild one there.
Was some big old holes in there though, Claudio, isn't there? That, you know, it's a lot rougher than it looks. When you walk it, you're like, holy Toledo, how do these riders go down here so quick? Can you pull anything back through Les Dahl? Fourth for him. 0.4 back on Atherton, the fastest through that section.
Taking the straight line down the drop. Still, even though it's the old school line, it looks to me the fastest. But I might be wrong with that.
So 1.4 back now then. We have seen people pull back big margins from split 4 down. I don't think you're going to be turning 1.5 seconds around though. So Charlie Harrison is going to stay in the hot seat. Needs a 4.19 for a top 3, Dean Lucas. Goes fourth, 1.89 back.
Right out of top 3 for Dean Lucas. 4.19, 7.3, 4.19, 7.32, Jack.
Jack Moyer at the top. Remember, coming back from that broken collarbone.
Been sitting out for quite a while with that.
Yeah. He's had a lot of problems with that collarbone, letting it get really right before he came back. Remy Thirion now in the start hut. From Le Bresse, actually, where we're going to the finals in a few weeks' time, in a couple of weeks' time now only. And Anne-Marie Piron saying, you know, some of his success is due to being on a team with this man and Miriam Nicole this year. He said he's learned an awful lot off them. They're a little bit more experienced than him. Full commitment down there. 62k and he's fastest. So Thirion in the green. Oh, right on the edge of the track there.
This is the only part of the track where you have loose rocks floating around, which makes it even more tricky than the rest.
Let's see if he can hold on to that lead then. This man has been racing downhill since he was 9 years old, so the best part of 20 years. Still recovering, really, probably psychologically from that massive crash in Leogang last year. Saw him break his back and missed the whole end of that season. Carrying good speed here.
Very good speed.
Less than half a second back then. But he has lost basically a second, the split between splits 2 and 3.
Yes, not that we could see where though, because it looked very good. See if he loses more time at Les Dahl. I don't think so, because this is what he likes.
He does. He's one of the most technical riders on the circuit. That looked fast. Looks smooth as well. So, 0.4 is advantage. He needs to nail this wood section as well.
Taking that outside, the right side of that tree.
I think that's a new line this year. I don't remember the riders using that in the past.
Never seen it before.
No,
yeah.
that's right. So Thirion, oh, he's lost some serious time. Smooth might not be the fastest through Les Dahl. 2.5 back for him. So Charlie Harrison is going to hold on to the lead for now. As we're rapidly approaching the top 10 riders. Thirion goes across the line in 6th place.
That's quite surprising that he loses that much time down here, because it is so technical, which is what he actually loves.
It's a physical one.
He was pedaling very hard up at the top, so maybe, you know, he was just going to it, going for it too hard.
Great to see so many people back here in Mont enjoying this World Cup final this afternoon. Mark Wallace then, 16th in qualifying. The Canyon rider. 6th here back in 2015 is his best result. From the other side of Canada, Vancouver Island. This is as close to home as it gets though. But Wallace a long way out really, 2 seconds back. 66 kilometers an hour though. Fast down that straight.
Those brakes were open, that's for sure.
He is a savage rider, this man. Not much scares Mark Wallace, I can tell you. I know, I tried to keep up with it. That was unbelievable. That was quick, wasn't it?
I guess he just took a second back right there.
Really unbelievable how he turned that bike. Oh, scrub it out of there as well. Super style from the man. Unfortunately, that doesn't win you any time, but it does look good.
Oh, quite a different line right there. A lot straighter than others that we've seen, but we don't know if that is actually faster.
This is another 0.4 of a second. Over 2.5 back now for this man. A man who actually says he owes a huge amount of his career to the late, great Stevie Smith. And, you know, who can forget Smith's winning race run here in 2013. In conditions actually similar to what we saw with Aaron Gwin last year.
That does look good in here. But, you know, as we saw before, maybe looking good is not enough. Being out of control on this track doesn't hurt. Well, unless you go too far out of control. But we've seen the winning run from Rachel Atherton. That was pushing the limits further than ever before.
Whoa. You got to... Okay, here he comes up to the next split then. And loses another 10. You've got to pick up the bike exactly right, all down through those woods, Claudia. There's so many holes. It's a matter really of like just timing up those little backsides and catching them and being as smooth as you can.
Yeah, you just pump it through from the right places to the next ones.
So outside the time of Charlie Harrison already. Wallace goes across the line in 6th place. So there's your top 3 at the moment. Harrison leading G. Atherton, Angel, Suarez, Alonso there in 3rd place. Okay, stay with us. We'll be right back with the top 10.
Pump up your tires for the world of Red Bull. The best live events, feature films, and shows. Make it your world and download the app for free. Red Bull TV is available on all your devices, anywhere, at any time. Go beyond the ordinary. Get the app now.
Drew Bezanson on his way to one of the most remarkable mountain bike competitions, Red Bull Joyride. They say it takes 10,000 hours to become a master.
Did I underestimate it? Sure, yes I did. They're just seeing the finished product. They're not seeing the last 20 years of riding a bicycle.
His foray into the world of slopestyle, the learning curve. Drew Bezanson, now available on Red Bull TV.
Back to Mont in Canada, the penultimate stop of this year's Mercedes-Benz UCI Downhill World Cup. Charlie Harrison leads. We've got 10 riders left to go. G. Atherton 2nd. Angel Suarez there, 3rd at the moment. And these are the riders left at the top. The 10 left: Moya, Minard, Isles, Vergier, Brosnan, McDonald, Lucas Shaw, Amélie Pierdon, Loic Bruni, and Danny Hart will be the last man to leave the top. And let's go and speak to Greg Minard.
Greg Minard, welcome back. It's great to see you here racing. You've taken a bit of time to return. Was it a particularly tricky rehab process that you've been through?
It was, you know, it wasn't only my arm that broke. I ended up tearing a tendon in my wrist, so it's been a bit complicated. But I'm so stoked to be back riding, and yesterday in the qualifying way exceeded my expectations. So yeah, I'm really stoked to be here.
Yeah, 10th place yesterday was a great run. What are your expectations today? Was that as good as it's going to get on that track, or can we expect some more from you?
I'm just aiming for a top 20. Yeah, I don't have any high expectations. It's a tough track. I'm trying to ride some lines. You'll probably see now that are slightly smoother than others, just trying to get out the holes. But you know, I'm a little premature returning, but I feel it was necessary to come and race. So yeah, I'm hopefully we'll get in the top 20.
Oh, we wish you luck. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys.
Well, of course, he's keen to race because he knows that if he wants a chance at winning the World Championships in Lenzerheide at the end of the year, then you do need some racing under your belt. You can't sit the entire season out. The most successful World Cup racer of all time, Greg Minnaar there. We're going to be seeing him in action.
And being happy with the top 20, I don't believe it.
That's exactly what went through my head as well, yeah. Yeah, more like a top 5. I think you might be happy with that. It's the GM we're talking about, man. Okay, here we go then. Jack Moir, another rider that has suffered injury this year. Shark attack Jack. He's had a few injuries actually over the years. Did literally have a shark nearly remove a leg. One of the biggest riders on the World Cup circuit as well at 6'3".
That gives him some extra travel.
And what a phenomenal season he had in 2017. Let's not forget, it was the same collarbone, 65 clicks through there, 1.2 back.
Did you just see him style it up with 65k an hour up there? All right, he's not scared, that's for sure.
Pushing hard in that turn as well. The front wheel just washing a little bit, didn't bother him at all. I don't think anyone's going to turn there as quick as we saw Mark Wallace this afternoon. So 1.1 back for Jack Moir. 7th overall in last year's World Cup. 4th at last year's World Championships. And actually started this year with a bang as well. 6th place, just off the podium in Le Chien before he re-broke that collarbone. But it was a much simpler break this time, he said. A standard break as opposed to the one he had before. 1.5 then, this is in touch.
It is in touch, and it looks incredibly smooth and clean. There has been no mistakes so far. And you know, riding that clean saves some energy, so he must have something left in the tank for the difficult sections that come up right now.
It's his teammate Charlie Harrison who's setting the pace at the bottom. Mark Wallace, the quickest through the Lasdal section so far. Has Moir got anything for the Canadian? 22.7 to beat then, through that critical part of this track.
Probably not the fastest we've seen through Les Dalles.
He goes 4th, only half a second back on Wallace. Again, opting around that steep drop there. And an 8th here last year. This is actually his first race run since round 1. He rode practice in Valnor, but didn't think he was strong enough. And again, like Minnaar, you know, it's kind of crunch time, Claudia. If these guys are going to have any shot at being world champion this year, they've got to get back on the bike. 2.6 then at split 4 for him. So his teammate is going to sit pretty a little bit further. And Charlie Harrison is going to be inside the top 10 today. Moir crosses the line 5th.
Yes, and as you say, you want to get that practice in. You want to use these 2 remaining World Cups to practice for World Championship, to be under pressure and deal with it. But Aaron Gwynn actually chooses a different strategy. He doesn't want to come in early, making sure his stump is at 100%. We know that he's riding at home, and we have that theory that he might be testing a new bike.
Going to be interesting to see really just where everyone's at as we go to those World Championships at the finals in a couple of weeks' time in La Bresse.
And you see how hard he had to slam the brake after the high-speed section, going into that right-hander. This is really what you have to test out during practice, is how long can you keep your brakes open, and where is the point where you need to hit them, and how hard can you actually hit those brakes without getting out of control.
Greg Minnaar then. The most successful World Cup racer of all time. 36 years old now for Pietermaritzburg in South Africa. Not inside the top 20, not where we'd see him during qualifying on any part of the track.
Oh, this is going to be fast. Oh,
and
yes!
he's up by 1.3 as a man who turns it on for the race runs. Minnaar is flying again on his comeback.
Yeah, right. Happy with top 20. We know what you're doing.
Played it all back. He's had one win here. It was a decade ago, can you believe? 7 times the runner-up. Oh, gets in trouble there and he stops. Minnaar comes to a halt in that wood. And that is the lead. He won't be winning this race run now. What a shame. A small mistake there, Claudio. It's still wet in that wood.
Well, it is that wood where you can just not go fast. You cannot overcook it in that one. You have to stay smooth in that one only place. And, you know, this is surprising because this is Greg Minnaar and he does have the experience and the patience to not overcook it in those parts. But there he did it.
1.9 back then. Oh, what a shame for Greg Minnaar. Love to have seen him come back with a podium today. Or even better, knowing this man, never ever write this man off. He made a comeback when he was 46, he'd still be capable of getting on the podium.
Exactly. Well, 1.9, I would not even say this is impossible. But he may not lose any more time, and he will have to attack hard to get that back, which is, oh, yeah, a very hard one.
So Minnaar through safely out of Lesdal. A massive line here, actually, only been done by Lucas Shaw in this next wood. A huge double off the top of this lip. I doubt if he'll do it today. He's done it in practice.
Yes!
He does do it! That is and it is absolutely massive when you're stood there watching it. You can't believe that anyone can do it.
Wow! Well, it probably doesn't look that crazy on TV, but
no.
If you knew how that place looks.
I went up there yesterday after, well, during qualifying, actually, to see if he was going to do it again. He didn't do it in qualifying, but my word, I was like, really? Are you sure that's on? There's a tiny backslope. A backside so far away from that lip. But Minnaar pulled for it and done it. The commitment's there. The speed is coming. The speed is there, really. That mistake costing him 3.7 back. Well, Minnaar can take from that he's on his way back.
Oh, yes. And there he goes into that new tree section. Probably slightly offline already there, but then it really sent him sideways and he got stuck in between those two trees. What you can't see there's two trees that are really close to each other, and this is crazy move down there.
Okay, let's go up to the top then with Anna. She's with Lucas Shaw.
So, Luca, 4th yesterday in qualification, but as you came across the line, it looked like you did have some mechanical issues out there.
Yeah, I smashed my chain guide on a rock and had no chain at the bottom, so couldn't really pedal in the last section, but I don't think I lost a whole lot of time, but yeah, should be able to shave a little bit of time off, I think, so hopefully no issues.
So yeah, there must be more to come today. Other than that, was it a good rundown? You feeling confident on track?
Yeah, it was a really good run. I was happy with how I rode. It was kind of tricky because I hadn't done many practice runs with the weather and stuff. So yeah, I put it together pretty good and I was happy with how I felt. So yeah, feeling good about today.
Good luck and thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Looking forward to watching that man race. Finn Isles now in the start hut. 8 riders to go, including himself. 9th in qualifying, remember though, he had a flat back tyre and didn't actually manage to get over that finish line jump. I've got a feeling this one's going to be a wild one again.
Oh yes it is.
His first World Cup podium. Oh, he's off!
Oh,
at
the exact same spot where Greg Minnaar just made his mistake right there.
Oh, exactly. Well, it's definitely a tricky, tight turn. Slippery as well. Oh, Finn Isles will be gutted.
Well, I can tell you, he was up by 2.3 seconds before that mistake.
Oh my goodness. Well, he's on pace, this youngster. He truly is. It won't be long before we see him. Another rider who's going to be really challenging for World Cup wins. First year elite. And there you go. Extending between splits 1 and 2. When you're pushing that hard, Claudio, mistakes happen. That's racing.
That's exactly what it is, and you know, at this level, you cannot just take a safe run and take it easy if you want to win a World Cup.
Won here as a junior in 2017, last year. And he was an absolute phenomenal junior rider. And he's already making his mark, definitely amongst the elite ranks. Teammate Loic Bruni will be coming up later as well.
The man you put your money on.
I have put my money on Loic today. Yeah, I think he's going to win. Maybe, though. Backing out a little bit now that we're coming down actually to his race. But I wouldn't be surprised. Bruni, he's on a mission this weekend. So Final's race run really is over. 5 seconds back at split 4 now for him. Just this big step down to go. Well, you know, he's on the podium in Andorra, his first elite podium. Pushed a little bit hard today, still inside the top 20, though, despite hitting the ground. Oh, and he knows what might have been.
I think we see him here going into that section where Greg Minnaar also had his trouble, and so let's see what happened here. We didn't see it before. It's the exact same line. Ah, look at it. It was the exact same line that Greg Minnaar took, and it also took him out. There must be some slippery roots sticking out after those rocks.
Well, it's taken out 2 very different generations of rider. One of the youngest. I guess Greg might even be the oldest in the field now. There's your hot seat at the moment. Harrison, big smile on his face. He's looking at his best ever World Cup finish. And we go back to the top for the winner of the last race in Andorra. The #2 plate on the front of his bike. A man still with a very real chance of taking the overall World Cup. Fastest in the steep sections, Loris Vergier for the Santa Cruz Syndicate on track. 14th here in 2015 is his best result. Fast out here. My word, it's nearly getting up towards 70 kilometers an hour. Hard on the brakes there. Just to run a little wide as well.
Had to still hit the brakes even though he was already turning.
But best part of a second up at the first 2 splits. Can he deal with this any better? Over the top of those rocks there on the left.
That same line, but he managed to stay on. Probably just a few inches to the left where he's not hitting those roots.
Super stylish, this man.
Steve Smith drop.
Can't see exactly the line he took because of the fans up there. Some rumours floating around the pits about where this man might end up team-wise next year. And he's up by a second then at split #2. Wow.
Okay.
Vergier really putting one together again here in Mont and then in Canada.
Just like in Andorra, but now we're going into Leidal, the hardest section on track with all those rocks. Let's see if we can keep it together.
An incredible season he's been having. Second in Fort William.
Whoa, even keeping it up. I was waiting for that one to come because we've seen it in the past, people doubling up those rocks. I haven't seen it this year, but he's doing it.
Riding on the crest of a wave. He's so confident after that win in the last round. And he was fastest through Lesdal. So he should extend that lead now. Only going to be 6 riders left after this man today.
I think he is extending the lead.
Here we go, he's going to go through that split, and yes, he has.
Whoa!
Over 2 seconds now then for Loris Vergier. This is a win, this is a run that could take the win this afternoon.
Extremely smooth on those rocks. One more rock garden and only these 2 jumps, scrubbing them nicely.
So Vergier comes down to the line. He's going to go fastest by a good margin. Oh, first for Vergier, 4:16.18. Well, he has taken it to Piron as well in the overall standings. Remember, Piron is riding, I would say, very injured this afternoon. It's a miracle he can even get to the top. Well, a good run from Vergier. Keeps his World Cup overall hopes alive with that one.
We see him here going almost 70k an hour, starting to hit the brakes, going into that turn. Waited as long as he could with those brakes, and that one, obviously he's not scared of these rocks in there. Let's see if it was enough.
Teammate Greg Bernard there at the bottom with him. Vergier, Isilou, new leader, a 4:16 now the time to beat. So just 6 riders left to go. Troy Brosnan, 6th in qualifying. Actually, I do wonder what frame of mind Troy is in. He sadly lost his granddad just a couple of days ago, which, of course, could well affect him today. And we give our thoughts out to his family back home in Australia. So Brosnan on this high-speed straight, looking to be moving, Claudio. Oh, he's up by 2 seconds! 66 kilometers an hour, but the time at 2 seconds up. It's massive run from Brosnan.
Now what is this? Okay, let's see how he does in that new section. Don't risk too much.
The junior world champion he was on this track. Nails that turn.
Went a bit further to the left, entering the right-hander, and that seems to be the key. I bet he will even extend his lead there.
Well, super smooth. Great. Fast over the top of Smith's rock as well. Right on that inside and goes inside again.
Not so sure if that's the right choice.
It hasn't worked much before, but it might for this man. It does look to have done. Nearly 3 seconds in advantage now. So Brosnan, junior world champion on this track in 2010 when Sam Hill actually won the Elite World Championship as well.
Right, now going into Ledal. Keep it together.
Came in there with some real pace, did Brosnan. Wow, look how hard he's working. Look how hard the bike's working. This looks faultless to me. This might well be a run that's going to challenge for the win here this afternoon. The Australian chap is moving.
Absolutely no mistake so far, even though he is attacking very hard. One more 3 section to go. Taking the straight line through it, no fancy lines there, just old school.
Here we go then. Next split, it's going to tell us 2.8 it was, 2.7. Nothing he's dropped. Surely he's going to go fastest now by a good margin as well. The riders at the top will know if they want what they've got to do to beat him. Oh, so many fans here being treated to an incredible race in Mont. Here comes Troy Brosnan down to the line. And he goes fastest with a 4:13, 3.1 up by the bottom. That's a massive run from him, absolutely massive run from Brosnan.
And he knows it because he has been pushing those limits as much as he could and should. Oh, this is going to be a hard one to beat.
You're dead right. Is that the winning run this afternoon? What we saw of it, it looked perfect, didn't it?
And we see the zone analysis there. He's in the green almost everywhere. So there's only one little spot in zone 7 right there where it's a bit orange.
Well, a difficult few days for Troy, but I guess he's kind of funneled that energy into a positive race run. And a good one it was at that. Brooke MacDonald now then at the top. Back on the podium in Andorra the last round with our 3rd place. The Bulldog's tail is wagging again in 2018. Back on the Mondraker, a bike that brought him so much success in the past. This will be a fully committed run as well. Chilling at the top though, Claudio.
Which is not a bad sign. We've seen the fastest starting times with those people who have not been pedaling up there. But now let's see.
Well, less than a second off Brosnan. Whoa! I was too busy watching Brooke throw shapes down there, see how fast he was going.
Into that new...
and he goes down, clips that thing. Yep.
The 3rd person in that same section. It's that new section of this here that they just put in.
Nice foot plant to drop in though on that big rock after it. Oh, what a shame for Bulldog.
Came a bit too close to that padded tree to the right and threw him off the bike.
How difficult, Claudio, is that though? Because, you know, he's gone from the fastest part of the track to one of the slowest. It's catching him out, isn't it?
That's exactly. It is not only the fastest track, the fastest part of the track. It's also the fastest part of the whole season.
Gotta be
going into one of the slowest. So it's really that switching back and forth from super fast into super technical.
And again here, you have to do it again as he enters the wood here. I remember, you know, back in her day, it was always difficult.
Yeah, so exact same situation right here, going into Les Dalles.
Oh, and he was in touch with that time of Troy Brosnan at split 2. Less than a second off. Definitely reversible on this long, technical, physical, brutal Mont track. If you just joined us, there are only...
flat tire.
Just to make his day even worse. So if you just joined us, you're watching Mont World Cup. Mercedes-Benz UCI Downhill World Cup. The penultimate stop actually only the press in a couple of weeks after this one. And we've only got 4 riders left now after this man crosses the line. Lucas Shaw, Amaury Pierron, Loic Bruni and Danny Hart. And we watch Brooke MacDonald now slip sliding his way down to the bottom. Can any of the last 4?
What? No,
no, don't do it. Don't do it. Someone put a leash on that man. Do you think any of the last 4 can beat Brosnan's time? It was good. It was really good.
Well, obviously they can, but...
but will they? It's tough to say, huh? But they're big names. Lucas Shaw.
And again, that first section that caught out 3 riders already. I think he was not quite where he wanted to be, but that's exactly the problem. Coming in from the fastest section of the track and then having to be so precise in that section there because you only actually have a couple of inches of width of where you want to be. And if you're just a bit off, it's going to either throw you into that tree or onto those roots that took Greg Minnaar out as well.
Absolutely. Definitely taking some scalps as we go to the top for Lucas Shaw. A man who has been the fastest qualifier 3 times this year. Second in the technical and the corners in qualifying. But remember, he had a mechanical problem as well. I believe he ripped a mech off or something. He couldn't pedal anyway on the bottom of the course. Didn't cost him too much time, but we know he's got more for this finals run. But he is behind the time of Brosnan by just over a second.
Don't do any mistake right there. He was hitting the brakes a bit more than others. That gives him a bit more control right here. Now going into that hairy section, into that new one. Different line. Good through it, no problem.
Whoa, goes deep on the drop as well. The effortless style of Lucas Shaw. Believe me, it won't be effortless for him on the bike. He comes in onto the Smith drop now. Wide line for him. Going to go to the outside as well on that next set of rocks. It is the smoothest line around the outside. Whoa, whoa, whoa. 1.9 back now then.
That's quite a lot, but it looks like he's saving a bit of energy up there, so he has more of it for the technical parts further down. It's gonna start in 5 seconds.
5th year last year. Into Les Dalles he comes. I'm going to say it's going to be pretty tough, if not impossible, to pull back 2 seconds after that run we saw of Troy Brosnan. The chainsaws are revving up in the forest.
Yes, and definitely not attacking as hard as Troy Brosnan in here. I think he's losing some more time there. Might be wrong with my prediction today. For once.
Wouldn't be the first time. So sure. In fact, the only other man I believe to have done that gap in there we saw Greg Minnaar do. 4.1 back now for him. So losing a lot of time there, Claudio.
Now that is quite surprising.
Yeah, we'll have a look, see, make sure he's got air in his tyres when he crosses the line. In fact, you know, I don't want to curse anyone, but we haven't seen, that's your job, we haven't seen many punches this afternoon. Or mechanicals, which is a bit of a miracle in this place. You guys going to go inside the top 3? Yes, he does. 4.4 back, so 4.17, a 3rd place for Lucas Shaw. Only 3 riders left. He may get on the 5 person podium this afternoon. teammate over to speak to him.
This is where he almost got out of control right here after that long, fast section, and then he had to hit the brakes a little sooner than others to pull his bike straight before he goes into the turns.
Well, if you just joined us, we're here in Mont, penultimate stop at the Mercedes-Benz UCI Downhill World Cup, and this is the series leader's last practice run this morning. It's horrific, that crash.
Well,
Whoa.
Something went seriously wrong right there. And
oh my goodness.
Well, good for him to be at the start.
Could have been season over right there. That could have been the World Cup over right there for him. But he's up, he's at the top. The #1 plate leaves the Star Hut. Second on the steep parts yesterday. What can he do then after that massive accident just a couple of hours ago? No real time to fix him up. He would be the first Frenchman in nearly 20 years to win the World Cup if he can do it, and it is possible. Just over a second back. That's an unbelievable run from him. He needs to beat Loris Vergier to take that overall World Cup. Vergier currently in second place.
All right, now look, this is smooth so far. Not super fast through that turn, but just enough. And I think this is a place where you're not going to win your race. You can only lose it there. The track is long enough to win it somewhere else. Now going into Steve Smith drop. And I think this is looking good. If it's not for the win today, but at least for the overall.
Winner of 3 World Cups on the bounce in 2018, the phenomenon. 1.5 back now for Piron. How's he doing this, Claudio, after that crash? Mental strength. It's unbelievable, this young man. Just 22 years old.
Ignore the pain, I would say. All right, Leitao, don't do a mistake in here, and you might have that overall. Obviously not attacking as hard anymore after that crash he had in here this morning.
We can't blame him for that. Wow. Carries great speed out of there as well. Certainly put that big crash behind him.
Okay, one more 3 section here. All right. Looking good.
Carried good speed through there as well, Amaury Piron. Dynamic on the way out. But the clock ticks by. Nearly 3 seconds now, the deficit for him to make up, and he won't be making that kind of time up. It's 3.1 back to Vergier. We'll have to wait and see actually where they finish before we can tell you about the overall standards as we go to Le Bresse. It's going to be tight. Here he comes across the line. And he goes second.
Oh!
2.9 back then. So he sneaks in front of Loris Vergier.
And what does that mean? Do we know?
It depends where Loic Bruni and where Danny Hart finish. But he has done the unbelievable here this afternoon.
Wow, after that crash, going that fast. Okay, we got it.
And we've got confirmation that he is the overall World Cup winner for 2018. He's done it. He's done it after that crash. The first Frenchman in 18 years to take the overall World Cup, and he clearly doesn't know yet. Unbelievable. So we had to wait for confirmation there. I thought if he beat Vergier, he would take it, and he has. Someone better tell him. Well, there's still a race going on anyway for the win here in Mont. And now it's Loic Bruni in the start hut. The man I tipped to take the win this afternoon. He's going to be up for it. The world champion takes to the track. And actually, the last French winner here in Mont was Fabien Barrel back in 2005. Bruni's going fast.
Oh,
and he's up by a second.
Oh, and the bike stays completely straight in that braking zone. That is a good sign for his skills and also for how good the suspension works on that bike. Now going into that new section, let's see if he keeps it smooth.
Yes.
Yes, he does. Almost smooth.
It was pretty amazing the way he just hopped into that turn there. Surely he hasn't lost any time on that part there. Stays tight in that berm as well.
All right, Steve Smith drop. Let's see if he chooses in or outside. Troy Brosnan took the inside straight through everything, and I think so does he. Yes.
Tight,
inside,
there. I get the feeling this man has had enough of Loris Bergier and Amaury Piron soaking up the limelight. He extends that lead, 1.1 up. Only 2 races away from Bruni, defending those rainbow stripes now in Switzerland later in September. What a run he's delivering here. He's made it known this week that Bruni is coming for this one. And he said this is his favourite track of the World Cup circuit. 4th here last year in the rain, remember. And looking smooth through Lesdal.
Very smooth, not as aggressive as Troy Brosnan, but
he's got 1.1 seconds to play with. Wow, wouldn't he love to win a World Cup this year? You do feel like it's his turn.
He did lose a little bit of time in Lesdal, but not a lot. So let's see what the next split says right here.
3:48, 3:49, it's going to be close. 0.6 up then. 0.6 of a second. And he cannot relax from that last split down.
Further inside than anyone else. He did not even take that rut.
He didn't. It looked like he slid just before the step-up mile. Lost a little bit of pace.
Oh, whoa.
Remember, he dislocated his elbow around 1. Another man who's had injury this year. Is he going to be able to
do it?
Bruni, look at the time. He goes into first place on 4:12.3 up. The world champion now takes the lead in this thrilling race here in Mont. Oh my word, France are on top with only Danny Hart now left at the top. This is a classic. Mont is serving us up this afternoon.
What is going on with the Frenchies this year? So there is only Danny Hart up there who can stop him.
Oh, I'm enjoying this. I hope you are at home, everyone. Absolutely incredible race. Bruni. A scorcher. So committed, so determined, Loic Bruni. Sometimes perhaps tries too hard. Okay, to the top we go then. For a man who's been twice the world champion as well. Fastest in the technical and the corners yesterday, Danny Hart is desperate for a big result, and a big result to this man is a win.
And talking about trying too hard, this man might have been trying a bit too hard this year as well, but this qualifier went well for him. If he keeps it together, he's definitely capable, and we'll see right here.
Bruni's time's gone by, only by less than a second though.
This is possible.
Hart getting right on the edge of the track there to find somewhere to gripe. Good speed through these turns, Claudio. He looks fast here.
Now let's see how he goes through that new section.
Gets a little bit of a swap on.
Totally different line and carrying good speed right there.
Right around the outside of those rocks. Nearly flat bombs that big drop there.
Okay. Steve Smith drop coming up, and we'll see a different line in there as well, maybe.
Big, good tight line. See the braking holes these guys are landing into now. The bikes, the riders getting kicked all over the place.
Going wide on both right and left-hander.
Further, perhaps faster. 2:53's gone by. Oh, he's lost just a slip. Around 0.3. Can he pull it back? It is definitely possible on this track.
It's not over yet.
Oh, my goodness me. Whew. That's one of those moments I don't know, not many riders can control them like Hart. Wowee.
That must have shocked him a little bit, though.
It's a heart attack, that's what it is. In as Lesdal he comes. Bergier still the fastest through here. Danny Hart definitely going to be fired up as well, but lost the national championships to his younger teammate a few weeks ago.
Losing a little bit more.
0.5. Back off Bergier. But he is quicker than Loic Bruni. That's what counts through Lesdal. Up to this split then, this will be talent for us. Oh, it looks a long way away, 1.8 now. So,
well, he would have to do a miracle in that last few turns.
A little bit of a case there as well, a small mistake. He's not going to do that time of Bruni, you know. So Danny Hart then comes down to the line. Needs a 4:16 for a top 3. He's going to be sure of that. Goes 3rd place, 1.3 back. And Loic Bruni wins here in Mont, the biggest World Cup race of the year. France are on top. It's not Piron, it's Loic Bruni that's done it. Like I told you in the pre-show.
Congratulations, Rob.
A personal victory.
I'll let you do the predictions next.
Look at that, Loic Bruni. Only his 2nd ever World Cup win. Yeah, Bruni. What a cool dude he is. Big support, of course, for the French riders here in this French-speaking part of the world. That was an incredible mountain bike race.
Oh, wow. I'm sweating in here.
I'm beyond sweating. Look what that means to Loic Bruni. Round 1, it couldn't have gone any worse for him. Pretty much the first turn of his first practice run, he went down hard and dislocated that elbow. But he's bounced back.
You see him all the way to the left, on the edge of the track. His bike stayed straight, perfect. He kept it all under control, was not really riding out of control at all, but just at that edge where you have to be if you want to win a World Cup.
I mean, all the riders, Claudio, saying that, you know, the level is higher than ever. You can see how hard these guys are pushing. I guess that might be the first World Cup win as well for Olin's suspension. Could be.
Could be.
But everything working right today, like clockwork for Loic.
Probably the biggest turn-up of spectators in a long time we have seen.
It's, I tell you what, it is a sea of people out there. I haven't seen this many people in Mont Sainte in years and years. Mountain biking is right back where it needs to be. And Loic Bruni is with our Rick.
Loic, sorry. Loic, a big win. How much does this one mean to you?
It's unexpected, honestly. It's been since Cairns 2 years ago, and so many things this year have been happening, struggle, injuries, and I didn't believe in it anymore. I forgot how to do it, and I think today I touched it finally. I was close, and I've never been able this year to grab a good result, and it feels insanely good for everyone in the team. It's so much relief, and we're back.
Whenever you're on a run like that, on a track as brutal as Mont Sainte, do you know it? Do you know this is a winning run?
No, you never know if it's a winning run or not, especially that yesterday the times were so tight. Everyone was like in less than a second, and you just gotta give everything you have, even if when you feel the arm pump, the legs burning, everything, you just need to hold on and just keep being efficient, try to be efficient, and I'm so happy I did it today. It's so cool. I don't realize it right now, but it's sick.
It's another French win this season. How much are you looking forward to getting to Brest for finals?
I think we're going to have a lot of new French people asking for the nationality. Frenchies are killing it this year. I'm so proud of Loris, Amaury, Estac, everyone belonging to the Frenchies. We rock, and I hope we're going to keep going like that.
Loic, congratulations. Well done today. Go and enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
Well, Claudio, he deserved that one, didn't he?
Absolutely. He's a really hard worker, and he had to wait quite a long time. Now, he said he had to wait 2 years, but if I remember right, his World Champ's title was less than a year ago. Otherwise, he would not.
He's talking about his last World Cup win.
Okay,
that's right. Yeah, only one World Cup win, 2 times a world champion, of course. There it is, then the top 3, separated by just 1.3 seconds. Amaury Piron, an incredible performance after a massive crash late on in practice. To see him take 4th place and to become the overall World Cup winner for the first time. France is back on top of mountain biking. Greg Minnaar comes back from injury. A brilliant 16th place for him as well.
Even with an almost crash.
Exactly, could have been a lot better. So 3rd place, Danny Hart. Couldn't match the French.
And again, he's right there. He could take another win anytime, but he's trying so hard. He's pushing so hard.
Brosnan, the Australian, 2nd place for him. I think he'll be very happy with that.
But we both thought this was it. We thought that this could be the win with that incredible run he did, but then this man came, Loic Bruni, and you said it before the race that it was his day. And okay, you were right.
Shall I take over the role of expert?
Oh yeah, you should.
Danny Hart, 3rd for him today then. Troy Brosnan, 2nd place today.
Thank you.
His best finish of the year, but it's this man that the crowd erupt for. Loic Bruni wins Mont Sainte. 13 years after the last Frenchman did it here.
You see the standings here. Amaury Pierron, 1,088 points, 307 points in front of Loris Vergier, and there's only 250 points to be won. That means Amaury Pierron is the overall World Cup winner 2018.
And very deserved it is too. 3 wins on the trot for him. Definitely a massive fight on for 2nd though, Claudio. Look at that. 5 points separate 2nd, 3rd and 4th. The Brest is still going to be epic, especially with the French on the rise like they are at the moment. I mean, are they going to let anyone else have a win this year? Okay, Amaury, the new World Cup overall winner, is with Rick.
Amaury, congratulations. You're the first Frenchman to win the title in nearly 20 years. Just what does that mean to you?
It's just crazy. A dream come true. A lot of rock all the winter, all the season. A team, a family. It's not just me. It's all the people around me. My sponsor work really well. Commensal, RockShox, every people, every sponsor are behind this win. So I'm pretty happy to take it.
How tough was it today, though? Because you had that big crash in practice just before the race.
That was just horrible, because when I crashed, I directly thought about the overall. Oh, fuck, I'm gonna miss it. I was very bad, but after a few minutes, okay, nothing is broken. No, it's just the mental game. We did, again, a good job with my physio, the physio of the team. So just thank you for my team. It's a good rock, and I just pushed my mental hard, and I made a podium, so I'm super happy.
Amaury, congratulations. You've won one of the podium, you've won the title as well. Go and enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, that man's definitely going to be looking forward to the finals in Le Bresse.
And there we see him on his bike, attacking hard with a lot of pain. We've seen that crash. It's incredible that he managed to still push it that hard and take the overall World Cup.
Stay with us then. We will be back live with the Mercedes-Benz post show.